I'm here outside Leinster House with Christy Moran is with me, and I couldn't help be attracted by his sign and wonder what on earth brings a man of Christy's generation to spend his day sitting outside, or obviously his days sitting outside Leinster House with a demand for his son, who obviously has needs that aren't being looked after. Christy, what brings you here today?
We're living in a home, dampness and mouldness, and we got no proper facilities for my son washing. We got to lift him in on a big bath, and like he's a big lad. And like I'm suffering COPD. I've been in the hospital the last 5 years with pneumonia myself, and we're not in the best of health. Otherwise, my wife is not well, and my son is 24 out here. He's in continence and nappies. He's 20, like he's got to be fed like a baby. All his food's got to be mashed up. And we have a lot of antisocial behaviour also between the mould and dampness. What's happened with the young lad, he's getting freaked out with all these young lads. And only a couple of years ago, I went out to some young lads in my area and asked them to move on, and they came back and smashed the windows of my car.
Christy, where are you living, Christy?
I live in a place called Balgetty in Lucan in Dublin.
And whose property? Is it your own home?
It's a council property.
Okay, so South Dublin County Council. Okay, yeah.
It's South Dublin County Council property, and for the last 6 years we got medical property moved out of it. And we had the TDs went on about it, and what happened, they get letters back and say that it's on a number thing. It's not that, it doesn't matter what your properties are. It all comes down to numbers with the councils, and this is where the government has the system. Like, if you're dying and you're 2 feet, it doesn't make no difference. As I said...
Sandy, that appears to be the case. There seems to be very little actual concern for people's situations. But specifically, if you're living in a council house and you have, damp and all those conditions, that's actually in breach, Christy, of the minimum standards legislation, which South Dublin Council is responsible to enforce. So they're forcing you to live in what is accommodation that the law judges to be unfit. And yet you have a son with special needs who's being forced to endure this, aside from your own health, which is equally important, of course.
I'm disabled myself now in the last 4 or 5 years. My back has been very bad for over 25 years. I worked in the buildings. I'm an ex-Navy man, Irish Navy man as well, and moved to England in the 80s. And, as I said, like, I'm worried, God forbid, as I said, I was in the hospital there last Christmas come with pneumonia and COPD and fucking COVID, the whole lot on top of one. I was very sick. I didn't think I was going to come out of it. My biggest fear is, God forbid, when it happens to me, what's going to happen to my son, with the wife and her own, things like that as well. And how to have to deal with the antisocial behaviour and, trying to get my son moved. Like, I don't want to be sick here.
Which the council as well have a responsibility to stop antisocial behaviour. You shouldn't have to endure that. But, Christy, are you familiar with in 2018, the state here ratified the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities? Are you familiar with that act? No. Well, that's an international agreement which our state signed up to, and it outlines that people, especially with disability, have to be in adequate accommodation, proper accommodation. So they're in breach of that as well as the minimum standards in rented accommodation. So across the board, the state is denying its own law. The rule of law mustn't count for much in your case, Christy. Having served the state, how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel like this day and age, that, as I said, family cares are even forgotten about. And I heard a saying one time ago, when you have a child with special needs or their child, you become disabled yourself. And,
You are, and you're providing a service which the state has an obligation to provide, and I'd say you're hardly being paid for it, or if you are, it's pennies.
You put your life into real, if you try with special needs, you put your life into looking after that child. The state, they give the respite once a year, respite money, but we spend that on might, and we buy him things out of things.
Yeah.
We can't, you couldn't afford to bring him on a holiday or that kind of money. You couldn't bring, even with, the carers, the weekly carers. Like, we only get a half carer from White. It's I think it's 130 a week or something. My wife gets, the young lad, and this is kind of we're saving the government millions and millions and millions every week, no matter what the years, billions every year.
Yes.
Like, if you look even with the hospital building here in Dublin here, Jesus, it's a disgrace. It's gone from 600 million to nearly 2 billion or something. And, children suffer with spina bifida, Scottish cirrhosis, and other operations, and
it's cruel.
They're forgotten about. We've all forgotten about, the children, and anything to do with special needs or children suffering, as I said, suffer, let the children come on to me.
We live in an uncaring state.
We definitely.
And I won't blame the people for that. I'll be very quick to say it's not the people. The people don't decide this policy that we should abuse families who have special needs or who are vulnerable. They don't decide that. Somebody else, there's an elite in there that decide that.
The global elite in Brussels inside in the door.
Yeah.
And as I said, I see a documentary 35 years ago where a man spoke about this. He says, in the year 2012 onwards, we'll have a global elite government. And,
he was dead on. That's exactly what we've got. Chrissy, what do you hope to get from today? Is there anything specific? What would you say to people of Ireland?
Well, this is not my first day here. I just been here a couple of weeks. I protest outside the council as well. And for the people of Ireland out there, as I said, I've seen a video, a picture on Instagram there the other day, for a woman there with her child. She's waiting so many years for the child with scoliosis. A child's in terrible pain every day of the week. And it's been on this last referendum, 23 million were wasted money. And children suffering and they can't have operations. And
they don't care.
They don't care. No.
Look, Christy, we'll leave it on that. I wish you the best. And we'll stay in touch on that issue. And if we can help you again sometime, we certainly will.
Thank you very much.
Go to Mila Mahagav, Sineas, Taklion, Lakia.
Thank you very much.